We're now in the period of time we refer to as the 9 days, a time of year in which we reflect on our long and bitter exile and contemplate how we get back to our proximity to Hashem that we once had many, many years ago. One of the defining factors of exile is that of anti-Semitism, both because of our distance from Eretz Yisrael geographically, but also because of our spiritual state. We've found ourselves threatened time and time again by those people who come against us, who want to do harm to us. No matter how Jews behave and no matter how they relate to society, they always somehow seem to be at the brunt of other people's hatred. If Jews are poor, we're hated for being poor. If we're wealthy, we're hated for being wealthy. If Jews isolate themselves and live in ghettos, they were hated for being separate. And if Jews try and integrate and mix with society and benefit others, they're hated for trying to take control. In fact, there may never have been an instance like the time just before World War II in which Jewish people contributed so much to civilization and society in the sciences, in education, in the arts, and sadly the devastating effects were very clear afterwards. And so through all of this we've suffered, and we long so much to come back to our land, to come back geographically to Eretz Yisrael, and also to a Messianic era where we'll all be together on our homeland and no longer will we be hated by others, but will be a source of admiration and pride to the world. The world will learn from us and love us for what we are. And so I have a question for you. When we've suffered through the ages, does HaKadosh Baruch Hu, does God suffer as well? Now, of course, when any person suffers, God, so to speak, who created us, feels the pain. But does HaKadosh Baruch Hu personally get affected by our anti-Semitism? David HaMelech says in Tehillim something very interesting. He says, when those who hate HaKadosh Baruch Hu raise their heads, in fact, they're coming against his people. Now that means, say our sages, that people who hate the Jewish people actually hate HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How is that the case? Because if you hate somebody for being different, as in fact most anti-Semites do, in essence therefore it was God who commanded us to do the things we've been doing for the last 3,500 years, and those who can't tolerate it in fact are coming against Hashem himself. So yes, to some degree this is a personal battle against God himself. Those who hate us really can't take the message in which he wants us to live in this world. Now practically speaking, you don't see that anti-Semites get struck down by a bolt of lightning as if Hashem took it personally. But there's a very big difference for us, because when we look back at our long, difficult period of exile, and we wonder to ourselves, when will it end? Or even maybe, will it ever end? Then we must know that it has to end. Not just for us, but because the purpose of creation is for HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name to be great in the world. If the world doesn't understand the purpose of our existence, then the world doesn't recognize what Hashem did in creating the world. And so HaKadosh Baruch Hu has an interest, a personal interest in taking us out of Galus. He wants to take us out of Galus because then he, so to speak, our sages tell us, comes out of Galus with us. His name will once again be glorified in the world. His people, who he commanded to behave in the way he commanded them to, will be the great ones, will be the admiration and inspiration of the world, and then his name will be great. And so when we're feeling a bit down or despondent and we're wondering, will this anti-Semitism ever end, we must remember, it will end and it must end, because the world's purpose is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself will become great. V'hoya Hashem lemelech al kol haaretz. There'll be a time when all of humanity will crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu king with the coming of Mashiach b'mehir v'yameinu.